Today, what I want to cover is there are some technical things we have to do, but I'm going to put them to I'm going to slide them till next week, which is how to get the lighting to work, so that you can create shadows and different shades of light and brightness and darkness and so forth. It's a little bit of technical stuff, so I thought what I'd do is I'd do both days of that to get it clear about how it works. So today what I want to do is I want to pick up where we left off last time, and the use of wallmaker doesn't require you to have walls. You don't have to have walls if you don't want. But wallmaker has advantages that if you use it, it gives you mouse controls and key controls that you don't have otherwise. In other words, it puts everything in. So essentially, when you use wallmaker, you've got a lot of code ready for you to use, and all you have to do then is add your objects to the world. So what I'd like to do today is three things, but the first couple are involved with wallmaker. One of them is I want to create a wall or a room with walls that have transparencies in them. And then those transparencies, you're going to be able to look through the like windows, and you're going to be able to see outside, so you can see outside the wall. So in other words, you have images outside, and then you're inside with this wall between you, and you can look through that one. So it gives you a 3D effect. It gives you the effect of having, it's like a stage where you have, you have the background scenery, then you have foreground scenery with a window cut out in it, and you can have stuff in the background there. But you can create that effect, and it's the first step towards creating something that feels more like it's got more rooms in it. Instead of just one room, you can put several rooms in. So the first thing is, what I like to do is make a blank wallmaker so that it doesn't have anything in it at all, and I bring it in and I use that to put stuff in. So for example, I make a blank wallmaker, then I can put a sphere in it, I can put a cylinder in it, I can put walls in it, I can do anything. It's got all of the tools there. All I have to do is put the positions and rotations of any objects I want, and the names. Say I want this object, I want it to be in that position. And then when you run the program, it does everything for you. It has everything for you. I'm going to bring the program in, and we're going to look at a couple of items in it that I didn't mention last time. When it comes in, it already has a bunch of code, and you may wonder, what is all that code? It's all stuff. It's all stuff that we actually have talked about before in various ways, but I'll show you what it is. I could have hidden this code from you. I could have set it up so that you didn't see it at all. Problem with that is, if you want to change it, you can't get to it. So I said, okay, I'll put it in there. It's a nuisance. You see it up there. It's just there. But if you want to change something, you can go up there and change a number in your program. It'll change everything. And that's very handy to do, okay? So the first thing I want to do is, I'm going to go online. I'm going to pull wallmaker. I'm going to make a wallmaker program that has no walls. I'm just going to bring it in as a raw program, okay? So to start off with, I have to go up to the web. And this is it here. And I'm going to type in /wallmaker. You may want to do this too for your own consumption. .html, there it is. And so there's the wallmaker program. It hasn't got any walls in it at all. Nothing's there. But I don't care about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the right-hand side. I'm going to press that button. So the code it creates doesn't have anything in it, but it has the controls in it, and that's what I want. So I select it, and all of it, say copy. Now I have it on the clipboard. So then what I do is I simply open up Notepad and put it in, and then I save it. I'm going to call it free, just to give it a name. I'm going to save it on the desktop, and I'm going to give it the name free.html. That means it's just nothing much in it, just there. Just HTML. And I have to use this right here. So save, there it is. So I have it. If I look a little bit to the right here, there it is right there. Free.html is on, I've got it, okay? So let me go back to here for a second. I'm going to look at this program a little bit. To begin with, if you don't have any objects in it, you have all this code up here. And you may wonder, what is all that code doing? And down below here, you have other code, and it does what it does. And still, there's no objects in it. I haven't even put a single object in there. This is all the code that, if there were an object, it would deal with it this way. So let me sort of just breeze through the code. Let's look down here at in the body section first. This is right down. I want to get to the very body. See, it says body starts right here, and it just goes to here. That's all it is. The body only contains one line at this point. It just contains graphics XX, which is the thing that has all the power to do whatever we want to do. I have not put in a script for any object, so that doesn't exist yet. If you go up into the JavaScript area, it's got the render function, and there's nothing in there either. The only thing it does is it sets up the camera, it points at the camera, and it makes it work, but it doesn't show you anything. You're going to basically, it's this right here that says the background color is 0000FF, which is RGB. It means it's blue. You're going to get a blue background. That's all you're going to see. If you run this program, you're going to see a blue background. In fact, let's run it. Just prove my point. You're going to see anything else. Do it down here. And it's fast, too. There it is. That's all you get is a blue background. You can move around, but you have nothing there. It's just background. Let's go up to the top of the program, the very top of it. Let's see what it looks like. Now, up in here, there's a bunch of variables, okay? A lot of these variables don't affect us. They don't really mean much to us at this point, and I'm not going to deal with them, okay? We're going to let's just not worry about what they are. The first thing is, the first thing I want to do is right here, see where it says total Z. Okay, total Z and total X right here, both of those guys, total X and total Z, tell you where the camera is located. That's its X and Z location. So it's at 0, 0 right here. It says it right there. It starts off at 0, 0, okay? And the total elevation is also 0. Now, I didn't show you last time, but you can go up and down too in this program. You can go up and down. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And so essentially though, let's look at this other information. D equals 4. That's another variable that's kind of interesting. What that means is when you hit a key, you move 4 pixels in some direction. Now I've made it 1, I've made it 6. It depends on what you're doing. If you want to, for example, if you have a great big open scene, a big mountain scene, and you want to slowly go towards the mountains, then you can change that D to 0.1 if you want. Change it to a very small. So when you hit the arrow going towards the mountains, you're going to go very, very, very slowly to go to the mountains. Otherwise, if you have it at 4, it assumes you're in a little room, you're just going to go, and you're at the mountains like that. So in other words, you close it's all a question of how you want to see your world. What do you consider your world? So I set it at 4. That's just what it normally comes at. And then down here, I have the key hit function. You can see my cursor there. I have the key hit function, and that's the one that goes with any key. So in other words, what you say is, if I hit a key, what keystroke did I hit? Do something. And then you have a bunch of if statements in there. So I have an if statement for 39, 18, 32, 37, 38. There's a bunch of hit instructions there. And what they're for is, they're for the arrows, and they're also for the Alt key and the spacebar key. The Alt key makes you go up. The spacebar key, hold it and it'll make you go down. Those are the two. They're right next to each other on this computer. On yours, there might be something between them. But basically, it's an Alt and a spacebar. And that's how you go up and down. It just brings you straight up and down. You can, if you wanted to set that, see that elevation right there? You could have set that if you wanted to at something, and your camera would start up there. That's what these total X, total Z, and elevation do. They tell you where the camera is, X, Y, and Z. Elevation is Y. So basically, if when your scene opens, like sometimes, for example, you create a scene with a box and a sphere in the middle. Well, if you don't do anything, they're going to be in the sphere in the middle. They're going to be in some position in the middle. That's going to screw everything up. You don't want that. You want them to be back looking at the thing, sort of the scene. So what you have to do is you have to set the X and the Z. You have to set them to some position, right? The camera. You have to move the camera back to some position. And so basically, that's how it's done. Down here, down here, you can see that I take total Z to be the position, total X. Right here, I say camera position equals total X, and camera position Z equals total Z. So in other words, I put the camera in the, so if you set those things up above, if you set those things, the camera will be in those positions, okay, whatever you set it at. And then the other thing is the word turn, which I didn't mention, is up above also. See that turn is 0 right there? That means the camera's looking straight ahead when you open up. If you measure it in degrees, it's degrees, you can say, for example, minus 45, and it'll go like that. You can say 45, and it'll go like that. No, it actually will go in I might get that backwards. Like I say, when I'm talking to you and you're looking this way, so a little bit of confusion there. Basically, try 45 and if it moves the wrong way, put minus in front of it and it'll move it the other way, just to keep it straight in your mind. So that's what some of those things do. And there's one other section in here. I'm just going to briefly go over it. It's right here. It says calculate camp position. All this stuff in here. There's a bunch of if this and if that, and if the other thing. What those things are simply, all they simply are, they're simply saying, if I move, if my total X goes too far one direction, I'm going to hit the wall. So I know where the wall is. I know it's like at 385. So this wall is 385. So if I hit it at 385, I'm going to go outside. So what I simply do is if I hit that, don't go anywhere. So what I've done is, by putting these if statements in here, I've said, if the person tries to go this way, don't let them go too far, don't let them go too far, don't let them go. Otherwise, you're locked in the room, you can't get out. With a simple if statement, it simply says, if you get to the edge, don't go any further. And the edge is the edge of that grid. That's where you put your outer walls. So that holds people into the world. You can eliminate those if you want to, but the advantage of it is, if you actually are using those walls, the advantage is that you create a scene and a world and an ambiance of some kind, like theatrical, and the stage doesn't fall down on them and nothing goes wrong. You know, as they're locked in there, they can't go out into the blue space and say, whoa, this is just a fake wall here. No, they're stuck in there. And that's one of the advantages of putting those if statements in there. It just locks you in. You can't back out either. You can't back out and you can't go forward out. You'll notice in the Egyptian one, if you play that one at home, and I don't know if you guys did or not, but if you hit a wall in the Egyptian one, you hear me whispering, you can't get out of here, or some little crazy thing. I think I made it on Halloween originally, so it's got Halloween a couple of years ago, so I still get that. Anyway, so that's the basic kind of stuff that I want you to kind of think about. Now, I brought this thing in here. It has no objects in it. I'm now going to create an object. I'm going to create a ball, big sphere, okay? Now, if I want to create a sphere, which is kind of like the ambiance, I'm looking around, this is my ambiance, I have to get the right kind of texture. If I just put a regular flat texture on a sphere, it's going to distort and it's going to look stupid. Online, it turns out if you ask for 360 images, pictures, 360 pictures from Google, and you look at images, you'll find 360 images. So no, those images can be plastered on a sphere, and you've got a room that you can look around in, you can move around in. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to say, okay, I've got this thing called free, and I've got it ready to go. I'm going to just put it out of the way for now, and go back to Google here. And let's do a 360. Why don't I do let's do a mountain search. Let's say mountains. I'll type in here about 360 mountains, like that. See what we got. Okay, let me get the thing on top of it here. And we're going to go to images. Now you got to be careful what you pick, because some look good, some don't look good. It's got that looks pretty good. See that big long thing right there?
So do you really have to pay
I don't like it. It's 360 horizontally, but it doesn't look 360. You can tell when they're 360 the way you want them is because they look distorted. That means you can tell when they put on a sphere it looks right, but otherwise it looks like a big distortion. These 360s are just panoramic, really. They're just around like that, like those guys right there. But let's see if I can find one that's 360. You'll see what they kind of look like. That one looks like it would work. See that sky, how weird it looks? That probably has a 360 to it right there. I'm going to wait to see if it's a better one. I'll look at some other ones here.
Does the pixel ratio really matter in this case of the size of the image, so it doesn't look.
Well,
too
you
small
have
or
to
too small?
always worry about that. You have to keep it to the size you want it. I mean, number of pixels is up to you, but if it's too big, it does slow things down. I can tell you, it does definitely do that. Let me see if I got anything here. That one looks 360, right? See how it's distorted, the way it distorts? Take a look at it, open it bigger, see what it looks like there. View the image. I might be wrong, but it looks like a 360 to me. Yeah, I think it is. I think this road and this road are the same road. I think it's going the other way. So let's take that picture down. I'm going to right-click on it and say Save Image As on the desktop. I'm going to give it a short name. I don't like that name. Let's call it 3. I'll call it 3. It's a dumb name, but it's a short one. That's all I need. Okay, I've got it. It downloaded. It's pretty fast too, so it must be, it's not too big apparently. Okay, so get rid of that. Get rid of Google. So now what I have this picture called free. And what I want to do is, I want to, in this thing I brought down, I want to put a big sphere, and I want to be in the middle of it, and I want to look around, I want to be able to see this mountain scene, okay? So basically what I have to do is I have to project the texture of that image called free onto this sphere. That's what I have to do. So the first thing I do is I say, okay, in the animation section here, the render section, I have to put in the instructions that say draw the ball in this position and this rotation. So I have to put those things in. So the thing is called, I call it my sphere. That's what I'm going to call it, okay? My sphere. Like that. Yeah, like that, not like that. Not quite like that. Ah! Yep. Dot ball. Dot position. Dot x equals position spelled wrong equals 0. I'm going to put everything at 0 to start with. Put the object at 0 here. Okay, so that's the first step. Now I got to put in the y and the z position, so I'll do that. So I copy this. Okay, this should be y. This should be z. Okay, so I'll copy this one more time. I'm going to put the rotations in now, which are also going to be zeros. X. Okay. Y, Z. This is rotation. I could have saved the TION probably and done it that way, but that's getting too technical for me.
Would the machine still recognize it as like rota, posi, and posi as abbreviations for that function, or?
What?
Would the machine still recognize your abbreviated versions of like rotation and position without the TION?
No.
Is that a universal thing, or would it not matter because they're your own variables anyway? Like I'm confused. Is that a universal?
This is a specific name that we're using a language called 3JS, which is three-dimensional JavaScript. It has specific words that you have to use.
So
now, my sphere is your word. Ball is a word that I imposed on you because I said this is the character of the thing we're going to draw. But they said you got to use the word position.x, position. They said that that's built in.
The universal.
Yeah.
Trigger words, for lack of a better word.
Oh, it's universal, but it's not universal, but it's ubiquitous.
It's widely accepted, I guess, then.
Widely accepted among the elite. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to put in the sphere itself.
Before us.
Script. Get here. If I do anything that you guys have never seen before and it looks weird to you, let me know. And I called it my sphere. If I blunder, let me know too. It's called sphere. I'll make it a 300 radius. It's going to be huge. It's going to have 32. It's going to have just that amount of. And then the image is called free dot 3.jpg. JPG.
I'm just curious with the sphere, like you have your 300, which I understand is like the radius or whatever. What, the 32 and the 32, like those other coordinates?
Ribs. Those are ribs. The ribs this way and the ribs and the latitude and longitude lines, basically.
Okay.
How many are there? Yeah. 32 is about right. Sometimes I left them there. I could have hid those from you also, but sometimes people want to make it really, really, really smooth. Or they may want to make a crude circle with just flat things on it. Some people do that for various reasons.
I just didn't know what they were. I've seen them before in other assignments, but...
So let's take a crack at it, see if it works. This is called free HTML. Let's see if I've done anything right or not.
I just know this feeling all too well.
Okay, something's wrong. See if I can find out what it is. Okay, so it's this is a variable, my sphere. It's called my sphere there. Comma 32, comma 32, comma 3.jpg. And that's the name of the image. / script, that looks right. See if everything's right up here. You see?
Does it have to be a ball instead of sphere on the bottom variable? Can you put my sphere equals new sphere?
I put dot ball.
No, would it need to be ball since that's a word?
Right here, right here?
Yeah, where that sphere is?
Yeah, it's sphere. That's correct. That one's correct. Sphere, you're right. p.jpg is correct. That's the right picture. Let me see if that picture is the right picture. Be sure. Yeah, that's it. It looks okay. Let's try it again. Sometimes the first time it doesn't work. Let's try it a second time, see what happens. Defiant. You can't beat us. We'll figure out what's wrong here. I had to have typed something wrong. 332, 32. It's in quotes. It's okay. Semicolon sphere new script HTML. But that sure looks all right to me. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that happened. Let's try one more time here. I don't believe that though. That's all it was. When I was talking to you, my mouse went into that place right there and made a space. Can you imagine that? very frustrating stuff. Okay, well, get you out of here. I'm going to go back to work here. Okay, so I just move the thing around. You can see what happens here. You can look at anything you want. Not bad, huh?
Beautiful scenery. Almost looks like
So you sort of get a 3D world, and that's the idea. This is all just printed on a sphere, but you can see that it doesn't look like a sphere anymore. It looks like just like you're in, you know, you're looking around. It's quite amazing.
Are you like inside the sphere right now then?
You're
as you're looking around?
You're in the middle of the sphere, right. You can move a little bit, by the way. Let me hit the arrows here. You can move a little bit, but you can't move very far, because if you do, you're going to run into the sphere. It sort of gives you the impression you're moving, but you're really not. Probably, if someone's inside one of those spheres, you probably shouldn't move, let the arrows do anything. I mean,
Is it moving or more just like zooming in on part of it?
yeah, that's right. Because it's here, and you're going like that. The camera's moving towards stuff. But yeah, when it's out of focus, it means you're too close. This picture's not too bad. Actually, it works out pretty well for a 3D picture. And it would be, normally would be the whole screen, so it wouldn't be bad. So you see, you can, provided you don't make any dumb mistakes like I just did, you basically can use the wallmaker program to create anything you want, really. It's one of the nice things. I have a program I'm going to show you right now online that does the same thing, only it does it in a slightly different way. Let me see if I can get it for you here. What it does is, it has two spheres. It has one sphere that's a still picture, and it's a mountain scene. And what I did is I cut off, I made transparent the whole sky. So what it has is the mountains with the transparency above it. If it wasn't for the next sphere I'm going to put in, it was just for that, you'd be looking out and you'd be seeing the background color, blue, whatever it is. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put another sphere outside of it, a little bit bigger, and what that sphere contains is a cloud moving. So then when you're in the scene, here's what you see. You see the mountains, and you see this cloud moving above it. They're not related in any way, but they look like they're integrated. It looks like it's part of looks like a movie, but it isn't a movie at all. Let me just get the thing here for you. I think we have it online if I'm not mistaken, but I know the name of it, so I'll get it. It's called Crag. And it's really big, by the way, because it's got very detailed pictures. They're very, and it also has sound. And this is the sky right here. It's so slow. The mountains haven't come in yet. The sky is, there's the mountains. They finally came. And here it is. If you look up at the thing there, you can see it kind of gives you the impression that you're actually in some kind of a rocky valley looking around.
And do you just have like the video sphere going on for the clouds then? Where you texture a sphere with a video file and MP4 for the clouds that appear to be moving with the wind or like blowing snow off the top?
Actually, the sphere itself not moving. The outer sphere is just still. It's a movie. The clouds are moving in the movie. That's all.
But you're texturing the sphere with a movie.
Yeah, but
okay.
but I'm not moving the sphere at all. It's locked still. Both spheres are still.
So it's not like the jet airplane one where it was just zooming.
No, the noise that we're hearing is. I went to the site where we get sound, and I said, "Give us a wind blowing sound," and that's what I got. Let me show you that, by the way. While we have this program here, let me show you the sound in here. Show you how it came in. Take a look at it. Right there. Let me just kill this other thing here. Get rid of that. But here's the program itself. There's the top of the program. This is just the wallmaker program. But I added these two lines right here. You see the audio, wind. There's two wind sounds. You can't tell that. But here's what happens. When you have a sound, the sound goes boop, boop, like that. You don't want that to happen. So what I did is I had the two sounds overlap with each other. So one they fills in the other, so they overlap like so. So what you got is the two sounds, and that's why I brought two sounds in. I said, okay, give me two sounds. And so one sound is called Win Big, and the other one's called Win Big 3. It's the same sound, so it wouldn't sound weird. They're both the same sound. And let's see what else I did here. I said autoplay and loop, and when it does that, it begins playing right away. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to call it in or anything. It just starts playing right away. So when you say autoplay, so those are just normal audio stuff. The normal audio stuff that we use. There's nothing else going on there.
How do you make them, you know, stagger so that you don't have two of them? That like, because like they're staggered. It seems like, so you can't tell. Like even in other programs, you've shown us you can tell when the canned sound of like the pouring rain.
These are staggered, yeah.
How do you do that? I'm not.
You don't have to, because they don't go off at the same time anyway.
Oh, because it's as the machine processes the.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell, as we'll do in class. I've given you sound controls previously, but there were sound controls for the user. We have sound controls too. In Java, we can just tell it the sound to play quiet, play loud. We can do that with instructions to do it. And there's a handful of things we have to. I call those the technical stuff. Basically, we have to control the light and the sound. Those are extra things. It's like theater. You have to control the light and the sound on the stage. So basically, we have to get control over those things. And I thought I'd do that. Like I'm going to do the light next week. Maybe I'll do the sound the following week. So you'll have all those tools to work with. Sound isn't so much. It doesn't take a lot, but there's different kind of sounds. There's sounds like we have here, audio, and then there's the sound of a movie you're playing. You can use that too. You can play the movie and you can have that sound dissolve or disappear or whatever you want also. So in other words, you can control the video sounds and you can control the regular audio sounds. Both of them are under control. So those are just instructions, which are straightforward. They say make the sound this loud, make the sound this soft. You have to write it in their language, but that's all you're saying really. Okay, so basically what we've done is I've talked about using spheres in this in wallmaker. Another thing you can do in wallmaker, which is important, is that you can change the height of the walls. We didn't do that last time. So far, I've just left the walls at the same 200 as the normal I leave them at, and that makes it sort of a room, like this sort of room-shaped thing. It makes a sort of thing like that. It's possible to take the walls and make them taller. Okay. Now, you might wonder why would you do that. I did a wall with the Alps in it one time, and if you don't do that, because the room is so short compared to its width, you can't find a picture that does it well. So what happens is the Matterhorn looks like a little point, it's just a little flat. It flattens it out even. Doesn't even look like anything spectacular. So I said, okay, I want it to look spectacular. So what you have to do is you raise the thing up, so when you're looking at it, you actually are looking up at this higher place. And I think it would be wise to make a program do that for us so we can do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more program from a wallmaker here. I'm going to bring it in. We'll build a program with a higher wall slash wallmaker. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to use one picture. I'm not going to use a bunch of pictures. Let me just find a simple picture here and I'll use it. I have a thing here with a bunch of pictures. Farmhouse. Let's use the farm, this one here. Copy. Okay, I'm going to use farm one, that's the one I'm going to use. Okay. Where's that? So, what I say down here, change the roof height to 800. Instead of being 200, I've changed it. I'm going to stretch it up this way, okay? I'm going to call this thing wood floor. I've got this actually, oops. Where am I here? Wood, quite a mess. Floor.jpg. I'm going to put a wooden floor in the place. I'm doing here. Okay. And then down here, I'm going to put farm1.jpg right here. Now, all those, oops, farm1. How did I do that? How do I do things like this? I actually hit all the letters. I don't know why it didn't do it, but it didn't. Is that like farm1 JPEGs there? Okay, so now I've got that in. So now basically you have 800-foot walls. And farm1, I'm going to put it on all four sides, so let me just bring this thing down here so I can draw them in. This is one side right here. That. Here. Oh. Get this down. Okay. Sorry about this off the screen, you guys. I'm not doing very good here. Let's see what we got. Okay, that should do it. So I got that one. Now I have to get the other one, top one there. So I'm going to bring this down. It's going to go off the screen, but basically, trust me.
We trust you.
Where have I heard that before? Okay, I'm going to take this one and bring it down over here. And I'm going to bring this one over here. Close enough. Okay, that's it. Now what I want to do is save the thing. Right there. Click into the zone, all, copy, and close. And then bring in Notepad and save it. Let's call it, it's on the desktop. Let's call it Farmer HTML. Does everything I'm doing make sense? I mean, I don't know if you can see it all or not, but the idea is I'm just saving the thing. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Farmer, where are you? Here you are. Bring it to Chrome. I gotta get the farm floor out there. Sorry about that. Let me get the floor out there. Here it is, wood floor. Copy. Okay. Takes care of that. Okay, let me bring it back in again so I'll have the wood floor. Okay, there it is. See the wood floor down there? And this is a farm thing. Look how tall it is. See, it's really, really tall. So you can see the whole point. You can change, and it changes your feeling in the place too. It makes it look quite. In this thing we're using right here, because we're so limited in the space we're in, it doesn't really give you the effect. But you can see that vertical thing really changes everything.
So you just like stretched it.
And you could
this aspect.
Now, here's another thing you can do. This is your prerogative. You can do anything you please. But if you had something, suppose you had a horizontal 360 picture of some kind, and you use that picture on the four walls. You took a piece of it here, a piece of it there. You could do that, or you could put a cylinder and put it on the four walls if you wanted to. Then what would happen is you got this ceiling up here in the way. What you could do if you wanted to, you could take the clouds. You could erase these clouds right here, by making it transparency. So you'd have the barn and the trees, and it'd be transparent up there. Then you could put a sphere with clouds on it up above, and it would come down, and so you'd be in a room, basically, you'd be looking at the barn with the clouds coming over it. So you can actually do that stuff by even having flat images or cylindrical images. Like online, some of those pictures look pretty nice. The trouble was they wouldn't go on a sphere. They'd go on a cylinder okay, but not on a sphere. So if you put it on a cylinder, you get the 360. But unfortunately, the sky that you have on that 360 And the sky that you may put in may not match, and it will look stupid. So you erase the sky on the 360 cylinder, and just put a globe over it with a good sky, and it gives you that 360 effect. Okay, and there it is. So that's how you do that. Now I want to do is, next thing I want to do is I want to create a wall that has windows in it. I'm going to put some windows in it, and we're going to look out at the barn. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to be in this barn, farmhouse, and we can look out the window and we can see the barn out there. We can see the barn out the different windows. So in other words, you have transparencies. The only reason I'm doing this, I mean, you could actually do this on your own, but I would like to do it just to show you the steps that you go through, and you kind of see it laid out. And this is sort of the, this is not the technical part of the trip. It's sort of the, the fussy little things you have to do to make it work. There's a bunch of things you have to do. And one of the things you have to do is you have to work with paint and the other program we use, whatever it's called, the other graphics program.
Wallmaker?
What? Give it to me again.
Wallmaker?
No, screencast. No, the other. It's called. I don't even have it here. Yeah, XNView. That's what it is. Did you see XNView? Eight in a corner over there. XNView. I X'd it from my mind. Anyway, so here we go. What I want to do is I'm going to create a situation where you have a farmhouse, and the farmhouse has 4 walls. You're inside the farmhouse, and you're going to look out through the windows. So step number 1 is we have to get some wallpaper. I got to go online and get some wallpaper to bring it in. And let's see if I've already done that. I think I have. Yes, I have. There's the wallpaper right there. I'm going to take all these guys. I think I'm going to take all these guys. And I'm going to bring them outside. Okay, copy. Did it take them all? That didn't take them all. Okay, hang on. Farm 1, I got flowers, I've got sky, I don't have. And wallpaper, I don't have. Okay, there they are. Okay, they're all out there now. So, these are the images I have. Wallpaper is one of the ones. This is the image right here. Don't think. This wallpaper image is the one I get down from the internet. I click on it twice, and it opens it up in XNView. Nope, I want it in XNView. Hang on, I got to get it in XNView. So I'm going to drag it to XNView. If you drag it to the icon, it opens it up in the right program. So there it is. It's in XNView, and that's the wallpaper. What I'm going to do is...
It's like wallpaper is in the true sense
pretty
of the word.
pathetic, isn't it? Okay, so I hit Control-Alt-A and copy. I basically want to copy this wallpaper. I want to bring it to the paint program. So here's the paint program right here. And I Control-V to bring it in. And there's the wallpaper in the paint program. So, now what I want to do, I'll bring it down here a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to put the, notice that I looked to see what colors were in the thing when I copied it. There's no blue in it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the holes in blue and then use the transparency. Say anything is blue, make transparent. That's the trick. So I want to put a couple of windows in this thing. So the first thing I do is I grab a rectangle. I got to put this up here so you can see it. I grab this rectangle right here, and I say I want the rectangle to be filled when I draw it. So you hit solid color right there. I want the color of the edge of the rectangle. I click there, and then I click on blue. And I want the internal part of the rectangle, so I click there and hit blue again to be blue. So now when I draw this rectangle, the entire rectangle is going to be blue. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you set up the colors. So I go down here, and I put 2 windows in. I put a window like right here, and a window like right here. approximately the same kind of windows, okay? That makes sense? So I made, these are where the two windows are gonna go. Next thing I wanna do is I put some frames on them and make them look a little bit, somewhat. So I'm just gonna get the rectangle again. This time I'm gonna change it to brown. And I'll make this one white here. And I'm going to not fill it anymore. I don't want to fill it, so I'm getting rid of the fill. No fill on it. So basically what I do is make a brown rectangle. I want to make it really fat, so I'll go up here. You guys can't see it, but I'm going to go up here a little bit. I'm going to make it fat, so I'll make a fat line right there. So I'm going to put a frame around the thing. So I say, okay, go like so, go like this. It's a window frame, okay? And I'll put a window frame around this one.
Yeah, you just need a window sill.
And I'm just going to grab a straight line now. I'm going to draw these other things here. This is not the way you would want to do it if you're doing it for real, by the way. Because this will not be correct. It'll be crooked and everything. But you get the idea. This is like the primitive art version of...
Can you do like the midpoint to have the mullions be correct though? Like, is there a way?
I think the demo programs are actually more correct. They're actually what you want. Okay, so you click, now what you want to do is you want to select this thing. I grab the select tool. I want to grab it and take it back to, I have to take it back to X in view so I can make this into a, so I copy, go back to X in view over here, and I hit Control-Shift-V, and it brings it in, so there it is. Now, what I have to do now is I have to make the blue, I have to make it transparent. So I go to Image and pull down Convert to Colors, that's the first step. And so that actually reduces all these colors to a certain size that we want. 16 is the size, but then I want to down say Display Color Information, which you didn't see, but it's Display Color Information. So when I put this little eyedropper over the thing, it shows me 1 for the color. See, the index is 1 for blue, okay? Then I go back to Image and go to Edit Palette. Edit Palette's where I'm going to. You can't see it, but that's where I'm going. And I hit blue. That's what I want to change into. Click here where it says Enable Transparency. And then say OK. There it is. So the windows are now transparent, okay? Then save that as. Save as, and be sure it's as a ping file. Save as, and be sure it's where you want it. The desktop's where I want it, desktop. It's got to be a ping file, and it's ping. It's already set up with ping. Okay, so I'm going to call that, what? Windows? How about
wallpaper.
Windows? Do I have Windows out there anywhere? I don't think I do. So I'll just use Windows. That's going to be a ping. Save. Okay, we got it. We got this thing called Windows. So now what I have is, what I've gotten is I've created the windows that are going to be on the inside. No, don't save. And therefore wallpaper is done, and windows.ping is in. Okay, that's what we need right there. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to go to wallmaker. I want to put the 4 walls out there, which are the farmhouse. Okay, and then I'm going to put 4 more walls on the inside, which are going to be the wallpaper with the windows, so we can look out the windows and see them. Okay, so step 1 is to go to the wallmaker again. And here we are at wallmaker. And I have to, I'm going to put the floor in. They call it wood floor. And that's going to be the same for the ceiling. I'm going to make the farmhouse has just got a wood floor and a wood ceiling. That's all it's going to have. Now down here, all the walls are going to be the barn, and that's called farm1.jpg. Farm class1.jpg. That's the barn we were using before. And I'm going to put it on all 4 walls. I'm going to put it on this wall right here. I'm going to put it on this wall right here. This wall right here. And the top wall. So these are all going to be pictures of the barn, okay? Next thing I want to do is put the inner walls in. The inner ones are going to be that wallpaper scene. So before I do that, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say change now to what they call the wallpaper. Do you remember? They call
Windows.
I didn't call it wallpaper, I don't think, did I?
You called it Windows.
Yeah, Windows ping. Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. So we call that
Does
Windows.
it matter that it's a PNG file and not a JPEG? Like, is there an actual reason for that? Maybe I missed it.
What?
That you called it the Windows, that it's a PNG file and not a JPEG? Is there like an actual...
I call it ping because of transparency on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here we go. This is going to be the inner wall. I'm going to bring it in here. So it's like so. And then I'm going to go up a little bit and bring it to the inside right into here someplace. Put it down like that. And this one's going to be like this. And like that. Now I'm going to do one more thing. At this point, it would do what we want. But I don't like the way the wallpaper meets the corners, and the corners over here. So I'm going to do a little trick, which I haven't talked about before, but basically, what did it just do? What just happened? What is this doing to me? Ooh. I don't know what it just did. I'm not sure if I still got my walls or not. Let me just try it and see if I get the walls. If I don't, I'll have to do it again. But I'll do it faster because I won't talk. I'll just do it. I don't seem to... Doesn't seem to have anything in it. Okay. I wonder why it did that. Somehow I lost the entire thing. It's got something to do with the video I'm making. The two must have conflicted somehow. I don't know how though. So sorry. I don't want to take a chance, because if I take a chance, it's not going to work for sure. Then we'll waste a lot of time. Let me just do. I'll just do this without talking. Basically, I'm going to repeat the same stuff I just did, and I'm going to do it as fast as I can. Okay, it's called Farm 1, and the other one's called Windows. Okay. Yeah. more time. See if I did that right. It's not true. There is no ping with that name. It's not ping, it's a JPEG. Okay, try one more time. It's a good test though to see if this the delete really works, because I've never used it before. So this is the outer wall I just created. That's the far wall. And now I have to create the Windows wall. And that's windows.ping right here. Right there. Okay.
Andy Carpenter built the
Yeah,
hospital, I
yeah,
swear.
it's collapsing. It's all that
Carpenter just
permafrost.
built
The
it. Yeah, it's settling. He must be located on Farmer's Loop.
Yes, I know the
Some
place.
of those places there.
It's not far from my house. I watch it it's been fixed up though now, I think. Okay, save as.
The road or the structures? I mean, the road got redone.
Let's call this thing new farm dot html. Okay, save it. We gotta see what happens. So I'll bring it up to normal position here. There it is, which is what the whole point is, that you can actually go close to the windows and you can see the outside it changes, as you move along. It looks like you're going out, looking out a window. So it isn't like it's painted on the wall. It's like it's got a three-dimensional effect to it. And that's it. That's, what the hell are you doing to me? That just drives me crazy. Oops. And you can go upside down, basically, and that's it. There you go. That's the thing. Not a big deal, but it's. I mean, you can see the kind of. I'm not at all unhappy with making mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes too, and you just have to go with it and figure out what you can and can't do. I don't know. One of the things that really bothered me is when the mouse clicked outside, it lost it, and I suspect that's. I've never seen that before, so it has to be something to do with. The recording device. It's probably, I probably hit the edge of it somehow and it did something freaky. Anyway, so that's it. That's basically that's good enough for today. I'm going to put some more examples up that you should look at, and always look at them and kind of see if could you make something like that. Are you ready to make something like that? I'll try not to put anything weird up, because some of them have you have controls that you don't have. But next time what we'll do is we'll talk about light, and we'll talk about sound control, if I can get it in, but I'll do mostly about light. I'll focus on that. And about the control. You also can control the video. You can tell the videos to skip ahead. You can tell them to stop. You can tell them to start over again. You have control over all that stuff. And those are like really computer geeky kind of stuff. So I'll sort of set them up in a list, and this is what, if you want to do something, say, okay, I want to do this, there's the thing that does it. And then after we get this stuff out, this kind of thing out of the way, then we can start making more expansive kinds of things. Like, for example, well, you'll see. I'll upload things, and you get to see the possibilities. There's lots of possibilities. That's it. I hope this may be useful to you, because it's, you know, it's not hard to do. It's just a matter of seeing it done and trying it, and then you can produce whatever kind of images you want, kind of things you want to do. It's not too bad for a crappy wall, is it? Anyway, that's it.
It was done with like leftover wallpaper from the 70s and snake.